Hello, hello. Welcome to this live. If you are an English learner living in North America and you want to either improve your pronunciation, have more of an American accent or Canadian accent, or just would like to reduce your foreign accent. Hi, my name is Jessie. I am an accent coach, an American accent coach. I'm Canadian and I am here to help you guys today. It's going to be very exciting live, I think. Here's what's on the agenda. Number one, I'm going to respond to a question I get a lot. Help. I want to improve my English. This is a very vague request. So I'm going to name a few issues or goals you might have and then give you the solution to it. Next, a question I get a lot is help. I want resources. I want videos. I want lessons. So I'll share with you some resources, free and paid. Then I'll be talking about some new downloadable audio lessons so you can practice your connected speech and understanding fast English on the go. And I cannot not talk about this. We're going to talk about Emmanuel Macron for sure and how this is relevant to your accent reduction journey for sure. And then I'm going to end with an judge my accent. So somebody sent me a video of them speaking English and I will be giving feedback. Of course, at any time in between each session, ask questions. Even while I'm presenting, ask questions and I will answer them after each little segment. Okay. So again, this is what's on the agenda. I'm really excited. I see 10 people here. Feel free to say hi. I will share your comments on the screen, so only say hi if you're okay with that. Let's get started. So, I'm looking for my banners here. All right, first thing. People ask me, help. I want to improve my English. Like I said, this is a very vague request, a very vague goal. So I'm going to help you by asking you questions. Is this what you want? If so, here is the solution. The first one is, do you want to be more confident when you speak English? Stop looking for your words. If that is your goal, your prescription, your my advice, the solution is to practice conversational English more. By doing this, you're going to gain more and more confidence, and you're going to start seeing gaps in your knowledge, in your vocabulary that doesn't come as smoothly. And then as you converse with people more and more, it's going to be easier. You're going to stop looking for your words. You're going to feel more confident. And a pro tip would be to talk with somebody who can give you feedback. That's really important because if you're using the wrong words or if you're mispronouncing something, it's good to get feedback. This is something that sometimes I offer, sometimes I don't, conversation and feedback sessions. But you can also use AI apps or AI apps. I have a link in the description to my favorite AI app where you can get language partners that are AI bots, and that correct you as you converse. So this helps you get feedback and to continue improving. But yeah, you could talk to anybody. So that is how you get more confident and you stop looking for your words. It's scary. I know it's scary to speak another language. I live in my second language. It's scary, but if you want to improve, you're going to have to punch fear in the face and just converse with people. Next, what's is your problem? Is your problem vocabulary? When you say, I want to improve my English, is it because you want more vocabulary? If this is your real problem, then what you're going to do is you are going to do things that you love in English. Vocabulary, usually I say reading is very effective, but you can watch TV, movies, podcasts. Personally, when I am trying to improve my vocabulary and, my writing, if I'm watching TV or films, I want to see the subtitles. I know some English teachers will say don't use subtitles because it helps you work on your understanding. But if I'm watching my second, third, or fourth language, like as a movie or whatever, I will look at the subtitles if my goal is to have more vocabulary. I want to see the vocabulary. I want to hear it, right? Next, if you say, I want to improve my English, well, what's the problem? Do you want to improve your pronunciation? If that is the case, it's really important that you repeat after native speakers or people who have a native accent, if that's what you want. People who correctly pronounce the words and the language that you're learning. So that's important. But it's also important to, if you want to get really serious, is to, conversation and feedback sessions are really important. Getting feedback is so important. So I know there are some English teachers, English coaches that do not give feedback. I've always done this, even when I worked at a college and students would come into my office for like 20 minutes for their little appointment. At the end of each session, I will say, here are the words that were either mispronounced or here are the main grammar issues. Okay. So, pronounce things, surround yourself with people who have the accent and the pronunciation that you want and get feedback from them if you can. Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's paid. Usually, if you really want to make sure that you're getting the feedback, paid is good. And if you get an English coach or an accent coach or an English teacher, make sure before you hire them that they will correct you. They'll correct your pronunciation and stuff because not all people do that. I don't know why. All right. Another thing you'll say, I want to improve my English. But what does that mean? Does it mean that you want to improve your accent? The solution to this, if you want to improve your accent, you would be a really good idea if you got an accent coach. Is this necessary? Not always, but eventually you'll get to the point where it will probably be necessary and you can get there faster with an accent coach. But hey, I know not everyone can and wants to have an accent coach or hire one. So if you want to know my framework, this is free. If you want to know the framework that I use with my clients to improve their accent, because when they come with me, they 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 hire me as their accent coach, I will come up with a program. We'll work on sound by sound. It's really personalized. But if you want to know my framework to get my free mini course video, comment framework in the replay. Sorry, not on the live because I can't really reply to it. In the replay of YouTube, not Facebook, because I cannot find my comments on Facebook. Comment framework on the replay of YouTube, and I will share with you the link on how to get my free framework mini course, accent reduction. So, how to reduce your accent. What are the steps? And if you get that, you will be on my email list. Okay. You can unsubscribe at any time. But I will say stay on it for at least 21 days because during the first 21 days, I send freebies. You'll get other free gifts, other free resources. So if you just want the freebie and unsubscribe, I recommend you stay for a little bit longer. And yeah, that's it. All right. So, like I mentioned, if you want to improve your accent, you should use my framework. And then if you want to get serious and you want momentum, getting an accent coach could be a good idea and get accent coaching. Because I am an accent coach, but I offer accent coaching and I also offer conversation feedback. That's technically not accent coaching, but your accent will improve probably anyways if you don't get accent coaching and we just have conversations. All right. Next one, you say, I want to improve my English. Does that mean that you talk too slow, too careful, too choppy, or like a textbook and want to sound smoother and faster? If this is your problem, the solution is to learn about connected speech because classroom English is not the same as real life English. If you've taken courses in English, maybe you've come to Canada, to the United States, you understand your teacher, but when you leave the classroom, you don't understand native speakers or you cannot speak like them. Learn about connected speech. That's actually what I cover in my course, my new course. We're currently in the beta phase. If you're watching the replay, we might not be anymore, but it is January 2026. For the next few months, we will be in the beta phase, which means that there are extra perks and bonuses for being a beta member. So that's the paid option. The free option is just to study and learn about connected speech on your own. I mean, there's videos and books everywhere, right? So you could probably find all the answers, but in this course, it's all compact into one place. All right, next. People say, I want to improve my English. The next problem they might have, what they actually might mean is, I want to understand fast English. I understand my teacher, but I don't understand native speakers because they speak fast. Okay. Native speakers, we technically don't speak fast. We connect our words, we reduce, things sound different. We drop sounds, we transform sounds. And that's what I talk about in this course. Okay. So if you want the free option, look up connected speech, do your research, buy books, whatever. But if you want like the paid course, that's your option. Okay. Um, I'll leave it at that. Next, I'm going to check out the questions here because I'm in between sessions. Hello, hello. Hello, hi, hey. I am good. How are you? I'm tired of speaking English. I feel ya. I feel ya. I live in my second language and sometimes I'm tired of speaking French. Sure. All right. Comment this. You know what? I see you say framework. I see you see framework. I'm unable to reply to you on this live, and I'm unable to reply to Facebook um, comments when they're live. So if you go to my website, americanaccenttraining.com, right here, actually, with Jess, sorry, if you just QR code this, and on the top, it'll say free guide, get your free guide. It's not technically the framework, but it gives you my top tips to accent reduction. You'll join my email list. You can unsubscribe at any time, but stay for 21 days and you will get my framework sometime within the 24 days. Okay. So if you're here live, that's how you get the framework because I cannot send it right now. All right. Hi, teacher. I'm good. How are you? I am good. You guys are so nice. I like your accent. Thank you. It's my first language, English. English is my first language. Hello, you're from Iraq, Kurdistan, Iraq. You're Kurdish. This is really cool to see where everyone's from. Hey there. Hi, Rouge. I love seeing repeat people, like people I know, regulars. I don't have a podcast, but if you mean this, yes, I'm glad. You're from America. And then the link to my website is here. On the top part, you'll see get my free guide. It's not the framework, but if you click it, get on my email list, you will eventually get my framework. All right, hello, I'm living here. Though I'm living here, I still learn from you. That is amazing. Yes, I'm from Canada, from France. Bonjour. We are going to talk about Emmanuel Macron and how we can learn from him when it comes to accent reduction. So that's awesome. Soon to Ottawa. Ottawa's great. People speak French and English there usually. Not everyone. Not everyone, but cool. All right. I'm going to go to the next part. If you have any comments, ask them in between. But I'm going to talk about something. And hello, Bing. There we go. Next thing, people tell me. People tell me. I'm just going to prepare this really quick so I can share my screen. There we go. There we go. Mm, 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 mm. Thank you for your patience. I'm not the fastest here when it comes to screen sharing and all that. All right. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. One second. This is not working at all. All right, I'm going to share my entire screen so I can get this here. All right. All right, so people tell me I want resources, classes, and videos. And here is my response. I'm just gonna share it here. So people tell me I want resources, classes, videos. Sometimes I don't know. Do they want paid? Do they want free? This is also a very general and vague comment. So I'm going to share with you everything. So if you want free resources, if you go to American Accent Training with Jess.com, there should be a QR code on my screen. You'll see that it'll bring you to my website. I should actually change this. It should be over 300,000. Um, and you click the top banner here, make real permanent accent changes free guide. If you click this, you give me your name, your email address, and this will this will put you on my email list, okay? And you can unsubscribe at any time. But I highly recommend that you stay for over 21 days because over the first 21 days of being on my email list, I'll be giving you all my freebies. Um, some really cool resources that the public does not have access to. So stay on it for at least 21 days. And that's how you get some really cool free resources. If you stay for the whole 21 days, you will for sure see my top 5 tips to effective and efficient accent reduction. You'll see my framework. I have a video and a PDF of how I help clients reduce their foreign accent. So it's like my framework. You'll also get my fluency cheat sheet. There's a bunch of things that you'll get. Okay. So that's the free stuff. And again, if you're on my email list, I think it's like the 14th day or something, I send you a list of all my categorized YouTube playlists, at least most of them. And a lot of them are unlisted. So they're kind of secret. They're kind of secret. And I think, yeah, the public does not have access to this. If you want paid resources, I have the course Connected Speech Secrets, which is now Native Speaker Secrets. And then I also have coaching, so working one-on-one with me. That's accent coaching, private accent coaching. Sometimes I'll have other things hidden at the very bottom, okay? So these are services that I don't necessarily promote, but if you wanna know little secret things I offer, if you scroll to the bottom, I have quick assessments. So sometimes people want to improve their accent. They do not know what to work on, right? They don't know what sounds off, but they do not want real coaching. Okay. Then they could just get an accent assessment. Again, the free guide, it's the same thing as up above. So please, please do not click this and the thing on the top because it might resolve in errors. And then this is something I offer sometimes, not always. So this might not be here when you come, but I do offer conversation and feedback Zooms. They are less expensive than accent coaching. There's no in between session support, but it's really helpful if you want to improve your English, build confidence, fluency, and get feedback each session. So that's pretty much it. There is my YouTube channel too, which I mentioned. If you join my email list, you'll get a list of all my cool playlists. But anyways, it is American Accent Training with Jess. That is the name of my YouTube channel and my website. Just put .com at the end of that and you can find those resources. I'm stopping my screen share and I'm coming back. There we go. All right. All right, all right, all right. Let's see what else we have here. Because I like this. All right. I like this question. So, Arush, if you don't know who he is from India. He has an amazing accent. I have a few videos if you check out my accent reviews. But he asks, "What do you think about placement?" Um, we had a small chat over it a while ago, so I'm curious. So, mm, before I answer, I want to say that my opinion and what I know about it is constantly evolving. Okay. So when we talked, I basically said, I'm not super huge on placement, but maybe there's things that I need to learn. Um, kind of think sometimes when people talk about placement, so when we talk about um, accent modification, accent reduction, people will talk about placement. Like the placement of American English is different than, let's say, someone who speaks an Indian language. I think sometimes talking about that can create more confusion with students or people learning because my theory, and the person who trained me, she's a speech language pathologist. She said if people can hear the difference between sounds, so let's say bus, boss, bus, boss. There are some people here that cannot hear the difference. That's normal. There are some people here that have learned to tell the difference. So if you could tell the difference, you can distinguish them by listening, and then you're able to pronounce them. What's like, do you really need to learn about placement, right? If you're able to produce those sounds, is it just too complicated to teach someone about placement? I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no. I feel like it's not always necessary. But, but, I don't know if you've seen, no, I don't think anyone has seen it yet because it's not out yet. From my last live, there was somebody who sent a voice message to me, and they asked me about their accent and why they do not sound like a native speaker. And I said, it feels like an Indian language might be their first language because it feels like it's really back. And when I mimic English learners, I want to be clear, when I mimic English learners, it's not making fun of them. It's so that to help you guys see the difference between when I mimic their accent and when I speak with an American accent. So if you can hear the difference, it's a good sign. And it's also for me to feel what it feels like in my mouth. Because if I could feel like, oh, wouldn't I talk like that, and then I could feel that, oh my goodness, I feel like your placement, there's a lot of like tight muscles here, or I feel like your tongue is really tight, which is a characteristic of those who speak English, or it's not English, characteristic of those who speak an Indian language. I can send that to you, Arush, actually. Um, so it's not super formulated. I'm still developing my opinion and what I feel is useful to share. But I think where I stand right now, I talk to clients about placement when they've learned the sounds, but there's like their English is still kind of colored with that accent. For example, I'm thinking of like Filipinos. Um, they will sometimes say the D and the T instead of the TH. But if we've already fixed that and they're T Alberta, like they say Alberta instead of Alberta, it's because their tongue is too like it's too tense and pushing on the front hair rather than just light tap a little bit further back. So if I notice that there's like trends that can help them or like patterns of where they're placing things, I'll bring it up. But you know, I'm sorry, I'm not really helping you. I don't know if I'm helping you by answering this, but let me know what you think. That's kind of my thoughts on it. Again, it's something that's in in progress of developing, like my opinion on that. But I feel like it's kind of unnecessary sometimes to talk about it with my clients because I think it brings a lot of confusion sometimes. But if I notice that there's a certain sound or kind of like a, you know, an accent that kind of comes up, then I'll say, "Do you feel like it's tight here or not?" And it could be from their first language, right? I'm hoping that helps. Let me know. All right, so how to say Toronto. Toronto. So we do not pronounce the T. We don't say Toronto. If you do, you're probably not from Toronto or you're probably not Canadian. So Toronto. And I'm even doing the TCH, Toronto, instead of saying Toronto. Toronto. Entiendo todo, pero no puedo hablar con los nativos. Tienes que practicar. Yo sé que it's very scary, but it's necessary. Buen día, ¿cómo puedo ir a I don't know. What do you mean by radicar? Like, how do I move to Canada or how do I stay in Canada? I actually don't know the word radicar. Hello, I hope you're doing well. Which time? So I've started doing my lives on Wednesdays, starting at 10. Thank you, thank you, thank you from India. I love that you love my pronunciation videos. Do you or can you? So, um, my French is my second language. My goal is to sound more like a native speaker. Which native speaker? Quebec. So I do not know where you're from. If I do my accent and you're from France, you might think it's funny. But Quebec is my goal accent. Cool. I'm good. How are you, Bangladesh? Um, all right, like she'd, he'd, he would. Do you want me to pronounce that? So she'd, he'd, he would. But in connected speech, it will change. So I talk about that in my course. All right. This is a question I love. I get a lot. Do I love it? Yeah, I love it. I grew up EW would be past. I grew up with American movies. Is there any difference between Canadian the Canadian and American accent? You know, um, hmm, this is a really good question. So I'm Canadian. I call myself an American accent coach. So technically speaking, I do not think there is a huge difference. Um, Generally, I would say it's the same, okay? There's differences, yes. Um, how would I say this? I've mentioned this in the other video. I don't think it's a huge difference. I used to live and work in a touristic place in Canada, in Quebec. And Americans would come, and I remember one American came up and said, "Whoa, you speak American. You speak really well, just like me." So the fact that she said that I spoke American, I didn't speak English, I spoke American. I'm like, it's the same thing. I feel like it's the same thing. However, there's different regional accents, right? So if you go to like Texas, it sounds really different sometimes if it's really like twangy. There's places in Canada that are a little bit different, but I would say generally speaking, it's the same. I know there's that stereotypical Canadian accent. But I feel like that's more of a joke, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. So Arush says, in my journey, lowering placement is the most challenging task, honestly. Hmm. I think I'm so bad at messaging Arush, but I kind of want to talk to you a little bit more about that maybe privately. Um, yeah, I have nothing to say about that, but that's very interesting. Hello from Egypt, from Laos, from Sudan. Nice. Interesting. Funny enough, that retroflex mouth position, backward talking in India speech gave me sort of a southern twang. Do you want that southern twang? Do you want to get rid of it? I'm curious. From Angola. I don't know if you were here last time, but I could not figure if I did not know if that was in Africa or if that was in Latin America. Ottawa. Sophie Lane. Do you speak Spanish? The fact that you put a R, a lot of Spanish speakers will say that, or like Arabic speakers. I'm gonna guess. You probably are from an Arabic country that speaks French, like Morocco or something. Because I saw the French symbol. Good question. I am not an immigration consultant or whatnot, so I don't know how to get there. Hello from Brazil. That's something you guys do. You do the W at the end. Brazil. So from Brazil, amazing, amazing. How many languages do you speak? I can converse in 3. I'm kind of learning a 4th, but I'm not good at it. I'm not good at being consistent. Ole prof, ole, hola, profe, quiero mejorar mi speaking, pero me queda imposible practicarlo con alguien por tiempo. Because you don't have enough time. It was just the last part I didn't understand. So I said, hello, prof. I want to improve my speaking, but it's impossible to practice because you don't have time? Is that what it is? If that might be what you meant. So you can find people. I do conversation and feedback sessions, and or at least now I do. And I also have an app that I use. It's like an AI bot. So even if you have 5 minutes, you can go on, converse in English. It gives you feedback. That could be an option. Hello. Okay, I understand you very well. Good. Hello. What can I do about my French accent? Just like anything, you want to see which look at your accent, look at your target accent, let's say it's the American accent, and see what is not exactly correct like you want. What's the most obvious sound? Work on that, correct that. I talk about that in my framework. So, I have a free mini course framework. So if you're watching the replay on YouTube, if you comment framework to get my free video, you can definitely find out how to do that. Um, yes, I do. I'm working on it. People think I'm trying to speak that way. Ah, I'm going to talk to you later. No, I'll say it now. Um, identify the sounds that sound like that. I think you say "ah" instead of "I." So you really want to add the "I," yeah, the "y," right? "I," right? Instead of I can't remember, it's been a while since I listened to your voice message, but little things like that, smile, I'll, I. So you continually, if you can, practice it daily to rebuild those habits to replace your "ah" instead of "I," if that makes sense. All right. Yeah, I'm Brazilian. The dark L was kinda hard to learn. Yeah. It's tricky. It's very tricky. Yeah, I'm Algerian and French, I mean Ottawa, just to delete the 2 T's. Yeah, because English speakers will say D, like it's a fast D, like here in Ottawa, and people who speak Arabic, Spanish, Italian that have the trilled R, they'll represent it with the R, so that's how I knew. Good. All right. But gosh, there's not a lot of things, just watching films in English and podcasts. Cool. Now, we're gonna talk about I'm gonna get rid of that comment first. Um, mm, 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 mm. Get rid of this. Next, I'm gonna talk about the new okay. I'm gonna talk about the new downloadable audio lessons. I just put 6 up. I'm gonna share with you guys where to get it, and I'm going to go here. Yes, stay circle. Um, mm, 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 mm. 1 second, guys. I'm just figuring this out again. All right, so I'm gonna talk about the new I'm gonna restart that because I cut this up. All right, so there are 6 new downloadable audios that I just put up last week because I am still building the Native Speakers Secrets extra section. So if you guys have this course, it's 2.5 hours of the main things you need to know how to go from choppy English and slow English to have smooth and fast speech, just like a native speaker, 2.5 hours. But I'm going to talk about this extra section, which comes with this course, and share with you the new lessons just so that you can see what it looks like. And I don't think you can I don't think you can hear the audio, but that's okay. So you can look on this section here, the left side, if you want to find which lessons you want to work on. You can also click categories to see what you want to practice. So I want to have stage 1, train your ear with downloadable audio. This is best for English. Sorry. This is best for English learners that understand classroom English, but fast English is difficult to understand. So that's Stage 1. Stage 2 is for English learners who already understand fast English but want to shadow and train their speaking with downloadable audio. I do not have anything yet. Okay, there's nothing here, nothing, because I'm building it. And then I have slow and careful to fast and reduced. So I saw someone ask how to say something. Depending on how fast and casual you say it, it's going to change. So, for example, as you can see here, you are turns into you are with a W. And then it can turn into, in natural reduction, it can turn into you were or you are, you were, you are. And in fast speech, if we're speaking fast, we will reduce it to you're. You're funny. So you are funny turns into you are funny, turns into you are funny, turns into you're funny. So that's what you will find in the slow, careful to fast and reduce. So you can see what speech sounds like depending on what's said. Uh, this is not why I shared my screen, but I thought, you know what, this could be helpful for somebody. Um, and then we have analyzing native speech. I just have one thing. We watch a show together or clips from a show, sorry. Um, all right. So this is what I want to show you is this. I have 6 new videos where you can train your ear. Practice understanding fast English. So I have everyday English, 2 videos. It's going to be more. This is just the beginning. Fast questions if you want to get more confident in understanding fast questions or work English. I might also add other sections depending on what my students request because we are in the beta phase. We're still building the extras together. And then if you want to download it longer, like longer audios, rather than having 3 to 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, this is like about 20 minutes. So I'll share with you what it looks like. I don't think I shared my sound, unfortunately. So I don't know if you heard the audio, but I say it twice. Let me see. Let me see. And then I give 3 seconds for you to guess what I actually said. And I say it carefully, separated. Let me see. And then I say it one more time. Let me see. So this helps train your ear to understand fast English, guess, and then you can repeat after me. There's also free downloads. So for each lesson, I have ear training audio. So if you just want the audio, it's harder to understand. So it might be a little more challenging, but if you want to have the audio to download to practice on the go, you can. Then there's the PDF and then there's the common reductions, which is from the original course. So you don't have to go back all the time. I want to share something though. Yeah, work English. This is good. I want to share an example of the PDF. So we're going to go here. And this is an example of what the PDFs look like. So work English audio 2. This is what it might sound like. This is what it means. Then there's meanings explained for certain words or phrases or whatever that might need clarification. So you are 1, practicing understanding fast English, 2, learning learning new vocabulary and how to use it, what it means, and then 3, you can repeat after me when you're listening to the audio. All right. So I'm going to go back here. And for each little ear training session, I have a reminder here saying that if you're unsure why certain sounds change, you can check out Secret 1, how sounds connect. Secret 2, about the T secret 3 about the sounds changing, or secret 4 reduced and weakened sounds. So I like this because sometimes you'll hear that and you'll think, wait, why did wait, okay, that one doesn't really have it. But you might be like, why didn't she pronounce the T there? Why was it that works for me? And then why did she say fur instead of for? Then you can look up the T and then you can look up the weakened sound. So this goes back to the main course. So the main course is just 2.5 hours and it is really compact. There's no practice in the main course because I want it to be fast and easy to finish, get a dopamine hit. Yeah, it's easy to finish, but you can refer back to it when needed. So you go to the glottal stop, why I did not pronounce it, right? That's it, I think. That is pretty much it. Those audios are ready to download. That's why I shared this with you. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a longer audio if you want something longer to study on the go. Mm-mm. I'm gonna go back here. All right. So let's see if I have any questions. That was a long one. That was a long one. All right. This question. Hi, Jess. I'm from Morocco. Hello. I hope to improve my English. Can you give me advice? My level is A1. Watch the replay of this. I talked about this. I talked about the first thing I talked about was help. I want to improve my English and I give advice. So check it out. Arush, she said she has some videos with you. You know the title? If you go to my American accent training with Jess YouTube, you're on YouTube, click playlists. You can either check you can either check Ask an Accent Coach. That's the name of the playlist. Ask an Accent Coach or Judge My Accent. Judge My Accent. I think I did 2 on Arush. But if you go to Judge My Accent, the playlist, you'll see. You feel like open the talk to. Mm. Oops. Bear down. All right. Um, I like this question. I like this question. Yes. Let's check it out. I'm gonna get my whiteboard out. And then after we're gonna talk about Emmanuel Macron. Okay. Which I'm really excited about. All right. So he said, do you feel like opened the and talked to would sound the same as open the and talk to? Okay, I'm gonna write this down and then answer it. These are the kind of questions that you will find the answers to in the connected speech course, the course that's going back and forth. Again, the the link is down in the description. And I'll give notes. I mean, you'll understand this without having to join my course, but I'm going to add some helpful where to find the resources in the course if anyone has the course here. Okay. So let's look at this. Talk. This is a k sound, a K sound, right? ED. Is it a it? Is it a D? Is it a T? It is a T. Talked. Talked. And then the next sound is a T. We're going to go through that first. No, we're going to keep it like that. We're going to go like this. These two are T and T. If you are in my native speaker secrets course, like the one going by, if you go to secret 1, you'll see that if there are 2 if a word ends with one consonant sound and the next one starts with the same consonant sound, they're gonna be said together. So it's like a t, talk to. So yes, it does sound like talk to. So you can say I talked to him, but usually in fast speech, it'll sound like talk to him. I talked to him yesterday. So great question. Next, open. That's an N. This is a D, opened. And this is a TH sound. I can't remember which symbol it is. I can't remember if it's this or whatever, but it's a TH. Okay. I don't remember the symbol for the voice TH. If you check out secret number 3, I think it's secret number 3. Secret number 3 or secret number 4. If there are 3 consonant sounds together and the middle one is a D, very often in fast speech, we'll drop it. So instead of saying, I opened the door, I opened the door. It's fine. So great question. Yes, 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 yes. That's exactly it. I'm hoping that helps. All right. I'm Leo from Vietnam. Can you help me improve my English? My English is very little. I told you guys, this is a question I get a lot. So I'm going to grab my little board. If you watch the replay, that's my advice. Watch the replay. The first thing I talk about is help. I want to improve my English because this is a question I get a lot. Okay. So check out my replay after I'm done. I'm going to prepare myself to get into character for this next segment. Okay. Let's get rid of that message here. 1 second. I'm so sorry. I'm wondering why it's doing this. I think I accidentally clicked it. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. I think some of you guys may know which segment I'm on. All right, Emmanuel Macron, an accent reduction. We can learn from him for sure. Okay, so we're going to talk about accent reduction, American accent training, my analysis of Emmanuel Macron and what you can learn from him. I hate talking about politics, but Monsieur Macron has entered into the meme culture, so that's why. I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting a French accent when I speak. It must be the influence of Emmanuel Macron. All right, so accent reduction. Before I analyze him, I'm going to say accent reduction. Sometimes it's too slow, for sure. It takes time, okay? It takes time to reduce your accent. But you need to be consistent for sure. Okay. And did you guys notice? Did you guys notice when Emmanuel Macron was talking? He did have a French accent. Okay. He says, sometimes it's too slow. Okay. And then he switches. He switches. I know people laugh. I know people laugh and make fun of the way he said for sure. But he said it pretty darn good. He sounded like he said it with an American accent. I laughed. I don't know why I laughed. I don't know. Maybe it's because he had a French accent and then he had an American accent. Maybe it's the glasses. I don't know. But I'll tell you this. He was able to say the R like an American. For sure. For sure. But he had a French accent when he said other things. What does this mean for Emmanuel Macron? And what does this mean for you? This means that one, he is able to pronounce the American R, the American sounds, which is impressive. But he slips back into his French accent. Some of you may feel like this. You might say, wow, like I can say things perfectly sometimes, but then when I speak in casual conversation, my Spanish R comes back. Or my TH goes this and that. This is very good instead of this is very good. But you can say it when you think. Problem here is that, well, first I'm going to start with the good news. Good news, you can pronounce it correctly. But the problem and the thing we need to work on is making it a habit. So, like I say in my framework, in my accent reduction framework, I'm going to put the little thing here. If you're watching the replay on YouTube and you want to see my framework, if you follow my framework, I say work on one sound, one aspect at a time. All right. So if it's like the TH, you say this and that. This is slow, right? Then every day, if you know how to pronounce the TH, I mean, you will practice, get words, get phrases, say this, that, this is that. There are three trees, right? Like you constantly create that habit. You will start to strengthen the pronunciation habit, the pronunciation muscles of when you say the TH. Okay. So, because your native language, right? For Emmanuel Macron, it's French. His this and that might want to come back. His R might want to come back when he talks in French or in English, I mean. Um, then that means that he just needs to practice. If that's what he wants. Emmanuel Macron, if you're looking for an accent coach, I'm here. But if you want to practice on your own, anyone, if you know you're able to correctly pronounce the sound, but it's not in your conversational English, target that sound every day. If, I always say, get feedback as you practice because sometimes people will practice the sound they think sounds American and it's not American. And then they work really hard, spend a lot of time and energy to create a different accent that is not the American accent. So get feedback. If you have native speakers in your life, if you have an accent coach, ask them from time to time, am I saying this correctly? If so, continue practicing, check in with your accent coach, continue practicing, right? So using the TH in the front of words, in the middle of words, at the end of words, in sentences. Um, that's a good thing. Make sure you're pronouncing it correctly. Another tip could be to record yourself. So if you are already able, this is really important because if you're not able to, don't do this. But if you're already able to pronounce the sound correctly, you can hear it, then you can record yourself speaking, listen back and see when you mispronounce it. And then if you're practicing and you're pronouncing it correctly, great. You can even kind of record yourself sometimes in casual conversation because that's when you're going to slip up. That's when your subconscious habits, pronunciation habits, especially from your native language, might take over. Record yourself. Listen back. Oh, when I say do the dishes, I say do the dishes, right? So then that is a phrase or there's something in that sentence that is coming the habit's not one yet, okay? So I'm hoping that helps. So that's what you can learn from Emmanuel Macron is if you know how to pronounce something correctly, like for sure. Actually, he said for sure. In English, we can reduce it to for sure, but it's okay what he said. It's okay. He said for sure. Um, if you know how to pronounce a sound, but it comes back, your native accent comes back and takes over. That's how you conquer it. Practice daily, targeted practice with that sound that you would like to eliminate from your accent. All right, I'm gonna go to questions. See if you guys have any questions. I'm gonna get this off because I am no longer Macron, or whatever I was trying to be. Next. Okay, I see a question. What is the rule behind placing my tongue for what? I'm curious. How many times do you spend in a live? Okay. Do you mean how long? Like how many minutes? Or do you mean how often? How many times? So I go once a week. Sorry. I go once a week. Um, it's kind of Wednesdays right now. Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern time. That is New York and Toronto. And I'm going on 55 minutes. I tend to go on for an hour. I try to keep a bunch of segments, a bunch of questions. I try to fill this live with a bunch of interaction and information, and then I end it, and then I cut it up. I cut it up into little videos. Hi, good morning, Luis. Hey, you're a good guy. I'm not a guy. A guy usually means a man. But we do say hi, guys, even if it's a girl sometimes, but sometimes people don't like it. Hi, Roberto Jimenez Hernandez. Hi. Do I have a podcast? I don't, but I think so. He means frequently. Yeah, so how often, how frequently? I do it once a week. I try to. Hi. All right. Hey, hey. Next one. I'm gonna go to the judge my accent section. Um, mm, mm. I'm gonna prepare myself, get everything ready just before. So, as you guys know, I listen to somebody, an English learner, and I take notes and I give advice. I'm getting it ready. And then I'm going to start. All right. And I want you guys to guess where you think he's from. Okay. I might even actually say on there, but we'll see. Okay. So we're gonna start.
Judge My Accent, a place on Reddit where English learners can get their accent judged.
Oh shoot, that shouldn't have happened. Okay, let's do it again.
Judge My Accent, a place on Reddit where English learners can get their accent judged.
Wow. So who's my next victim?
I'm just kidding. I'm here to help you and judge your accent so that you can improve your accent and speak more like a native English speaker with an American accent. Let's go.
All right, so in this episode of Judge My Accent, we are not going on Reddit. I am reviewing a video of a follower, and I will be giving feedback on his accent. If you're watching live, even if you're watching the replay, if you want to guess where he's from, do it. I would love that. So I'm going to share the screen. Okay, so I'm having trouble clearly. Okay. I think I'm going to do the entire screen. Share the sound. All right, so we're gonna listen again. Feel free to say where you think he's from.
Stop saying my English is weak. Start saying I'm learning every day. You don't need perfect grammar. You need confidence. Speak daily and make mistakes proudly and never quit. Follow this page and let's become fluent together. Goodbye.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to that one more time because it's short. I'll probably listen to it 2 or 3 times actually.
Hey, stop saying my English is weak. Start saying I'm learning every day. You don't need perfect grammar. You need confidence. Speak daily and make mistakes proudly and never quit. Follow this page and let's become fluent together. Goodbye.
I'm gonna listen to it one more time.
Hey, stop saying my English is weak. Start saying I'm learning every day. You don't need perfect grammar. You need confidence. Speak daily and make mistakes proudly and never quit. Follow this page and let's become fluent together. Goodbye.
All right. So I think it's really clear when you guys listen to it. I didn't realize that because it's screen sharing that I don't hear it as well. So I'm going to listen to it as well. Because there's certain sounds I can't really hear.
Saying my English is weak. Start saying, you don't need confidence. You need confidence. Speak ready and make mistakes for you. Follow this page and let's become fluent together.
Cool. Good. All right. So I was listening for something else that I couldn't hear. And I just realized there's music at the end. So I might get in trouble for this. I'm hoping I don't. So, all right, let's see. What do you guys think? Where do you think he's from? Someone said from Bangladesh. I'm not good place of hearing accent. Yeah, I know what it's like. Pakistan. I don't know. Oh, very, very interesting. From Bangladesh. Sorry, I say dash sometimes. Bangladesh. Um, oh, that's really kind. That's really kind of you to say that. All right, so he's actually from Pakistan. You're really good. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe Indian. I wasn't really sure. So, my take on this accent review. I'm going to put both of my things here, both of my earphones. So, my take on this accent review, he worked really hard to get to where he's at. And I'm actually curious if you are watching this or even in my DMs, can you tell me what did you do to get that good of an English level? And I probably even made a grammatical mistake by saying that. Tell me how you got your English level and your pronunciation to be that level because it is impressive. I could tell that he's a very like rich and deep voice, which is really American, which is nice. I still hear a slight accent. Um, and I had to listen to it a few times to try and see what else I can hear. But if you wanted to improve your accent, ooh, I think I would need a longer clip to make a full, like, a full how do I say this? I think I would want to see a longer clip and hear a longer clip and more spontaneous speech in order to really say what you could work on if you wanted to improve your accent. Because you've gotten to that level where if you want to improve your accent, it's going to take a lot of work for little improvement. You know what I mean? But I did notice that instead of it being like a V and very or a W what was. I don't know how this is gonna be picked up in my mic. I noticed that it sometimes sounds like, um, it kinda sounds like a mix of a V and a W sometimes. So, I know that you're capable of pronouncing these sounds correctly, but like I mentioned, sometimes in I'm not making sense. I'm gonna cut this up later. But like I mentioned in other videos, sometimes when we are speaking casually, our native language will take over, like our habits. So I kind of heard like weak, weak. It sounded like it wasn't a clear W. What? Because remember, with the W was where there's nothing touching here. With the V, like in very, it's touching here. So I kind of heard that that habit isn't 100% mastered, and that's okay. But it's something to note. So if you really wanted to master that, you would work on the V and the W sounds, more specifically the W sounds, to make sure that your teeth never touch here because that's going to make it sound like a V a little bit. So practicing words with W in the beginning of the word, in the middle of the word, the end of the word in sentences if you practice it daily and you get feedback. or you listen to yourself, if you can hear the difference, then you will be able to improve that habit and try to solidify it. It's really at the last and final stages of creating those habits that it gets hard and it gets really boring, and that's normal. But I just want to say that your accent is really good, really good. But I would want to hear a longer clip and more spontaneous and without music to really get a better idea of, your pronunciation habits and your accent. So I'm hoping that helps. Again, like I mentioned in every video, or I try to, if you want to know my framework to accent reduction and what I use to help clients reduce their foreign accent, comment framework in the replay of this video on YouTube. And I will share with you how to get my framework. This will get you onto my email list. You can unsubscribe at any time, but I do recommend that you stay on for at least 21 days because I send really valuable content like it's scheduled for the first 21, 22 days. And that is the end of this Judge My Accent. If you're watching the clip, there should be something popping up here, which will allow you to watch more Judge My Accent videos. All right, that's the end of this. That's the end of that segment. I'm going to hang out with you guys, see if there's any questions. Okay. I actually don't know how to pronounce the first word or the second word, but entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. You can say entrepreneur, entrepreneur. You'll hear both. Entrepreneur, entrepreneur. All right. Thank you for helping. Following you. Great. I've had challenge for pronunciation. Mm. Is that you that sent it to me? Okay, but tell me more. Tell me more. Um, so yeah, how many hours does it last? My live, usually I do it for an hour. So right now it's an hour and 6 minutes. So I usually try to stay within an hour-ish. An hour-ish, that means about. And then it'll probably end within 10 minutes, I think. You're the best pronunciation coach I've ever seen. Sorry, pronunciation, I should say. Thank you. That's really kind. Hello. Okay, how to perfectly pronounce the R sound. Um, that's a lot to talk about on this live, but there are a lot of videos on YouTube. If you check out how to pronounce the American R and then get feedback when you practice to make sure you're actually pronouncing it. Definitely. I don't know if that was to my question about it being you. All right, we need your podcast video. Do you mean like this what I'm doing right now? It's on YouTube. The replay will be on YouTube. It's on Facebook, but Facebook deletes it. From Bangladesh. And yes, it's something amazing to learn other languages. I agree. I agree. And good. You're on my Facebook. If you go to my YouTube, American Accent Training with Jess, there's a lot more videos. You're from Haiti. Amazing. Haiti. I think you guys speak le français there. So how can I improve my accent? Great question. It's a really big answer, but what I will say is if you comment framework on the replay, come back and comment it on the replay on YouTube. I can share with you my framework on how to reduce your accent so that you can have more of an American accent. And I'm good. How are you? And hello, good morning, Anthony Lopez. Oh my goodness, that's so kind. I love hearing stuff like this. From India, I have improved a lot only by watching your videos. Thanks a lot, man. You're very welcome. I'm so happy to help. Okay. Oh, okay. I like this question. Some people tell me I sound like someone trying too hard to sound American. Any tips? Well, my first tip is, are they correct? And then my second or my advice is if you are comfortable with this, send me an Instagram message, and I will give you a link to my SpeakPipe. So this is like a website link, and you will be able to record an audio for 90 seconds, up to 90 seconds. If you send it and you're okay with me reviewing it live, you can send me a voice message. Try to do at least 60 seconds. And I will tell you what sounds like you're trying too hard, what doesn't, what advice I would give. Because it's hard to give generalized advice of saying, oh, yeah, do this or do that, because I don't know what you sound like. But if you're comfortable, you don't even have to say your name. You can just say, hello, this is how I speak. Some people tell me that I sound like I'm trying too hard to have an American accent. What advice do you have? And tell me something. Tell me something about you. Tell me something about anything, just so that I can hear what you sound like in English. And Beth, comment this on my replay, on the replay of my YouTube video, or go to this. That's my website, American Accent Training with Jess.com. And then click free guide. The free guide, it's on the top of my website. I can actually show it again. No, I actually don't know where it is. Yeah, if you click my free guide and stay on my email list for like 21 days, you'll get the framework. I give it to people on my email list, and then you can unsubscribe at any time. All right, so hi, I'm from Nigeria. May you help too. My tongue is not structured in terms of pronunciation. Nigeria. So that means English is your first language. Am I right? Again, if you want that framework, get it. Get it. I will share with you my framework, but in a nutshell, summarized, when people want to change their accent or reduce their foreign accent, you want to look at your goal accent and your accent. I recommend in my framework, you'll see working on one aspect or one pronunciation at a time. And this could be if you have a foreign accent, like you speak another language. This could be that you speak English, like you're Nigerian, but you have a different accent. You say, what sounds different? Okay. Work on that one sound. Maybe it's the R. Okay. Instead of saying water, say water. What is the matter? Right? You say matter. It's matter. Okay. And I actually talk about in my course, native speaker secrets. I also talk about the American T. If you're Nigerian, you probably pronounce it as a true T. You probably say what instead of what. What? Glottal stop. I talk about that in secret number 2. You probably say mata instead of matter, which sounds like a D, or an R if you speak Spanish. You might say, I'm trying to think of another example. Tu. Yeah, I noticed this when I worked with other Nigerians. You'd say tu instead of ta. Go to the store, or go to the store. I can't do it. Sorry. Instead of go to the store, and it turns into a D. Go to instead of go to. Right. Or with the R, if you want to do the R, if you're able to pronounce it, I think you guys can. Wait, yet no, you can pronounce the R, but it's just at the end. Like for example, you'll say here instead of here, there instead of there. So if you just work on one sound at a time, right? This could be getting a sheet of paper out, reading words with R. So saying there, here, there are, instead there are, right? It's hard. Or there, right? There, there. So picking one sound at a time and practicing it every day. Of course, getting feedback once in a while. If you have an accent coach, you can do that. If you know somebody with an American accent that will do that for you. Yeah. It's really about like learning what sounds different, targeting that sound, mastering that sound, and then practicing it and practicing getting feedback so that the new sound, the new accent that you want to have becomes a habit. Does that help? So instead of saying what is the matter? You say, what is the matter? What's the matter? Right? So I'm hoping that helps. I I don't know how my Nigerian accent is, but I'm sure it was really bad sometimes. But that's cool. That's cool. I love talking to people around the world. So is the American accent different than the Canadian accent? I get this question a lot. I should just do a video on it. I'd say generally speaking, not really. Regionally, there are some differences. And stereotypically, yes. So I would say I say I have a general American accent. I'm Canadian. So I would say they're not that different. The short answer, they're not that different, but every region is different. And the way you say about or out is very soothing for some reason. That's funny. Um, all right, I'm doing good. Thank you. From India. I'm from Canada. I'm Canadian. How can I get American citizenship? I don't know. I'm not American and I'm not an immigration consultant. Sorry. So sure. Yeah. Send me a message. American accent training with Jess on Instagram. Um, I can't hear you. You can't. Why? Can everyone else hear me? I hope so. If not, I'm talking to myself. Give us a linking secret. I did earlier in this live. I'm gonna see if I can get it. Um, a linking secret when there are three. This is a secret from my course. When there are three consonant sounds and the middle sound is a D or a T. I know I figured. I know that I put this into a different rule, but it's the same idea. If it's a D or a T, you can drop it. So if you said talked loud, he talked loud yesterday. Instead of he opened the door, he opened the door yesterday. So that's a linking secret. That's just one of many secrets. If you are interested in learning all the secrets, all the secrets, not all the secrets. If you want to learn the major secrets that are going to help you sound more, smooth and you're able to master fast American English, you'll want this. But that was one. That was one. I hope you liked it. Nice. All right. So, are you talking about my lives? My lives on Facebook and YouTube are Wednesdays now. Wednesdays at about 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's New York, Toronto. All right. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you guys like it. So this is the end. It is 1 hour and 17 minutes. Feel free to watch the replay again if you want to have the free comment framework on YouTube on the replay, and I can give you the link to get my free framework. Hello. We're just ending now, so thank you for coming. Feel free to watch the replay. And adios, amigos.